The year was 2157. Humans had built homes on Mars and Europa, but they still hadn't met any aliens. Many people started to think that maybe humans were alone in the universe after all. Captain Alex Morgan stood on the bridge of the scout ship Horizon looking at the stars through the large front window. He was a tall man with short brown hair and tired eyes. He had been flying through the Kuiper Belt for 3 weeks now. His job was to look for anything unusual and report back to Earth. "Captain, I'm picking up something strange," said Danny Wells, the sensor officer. He was young, barely 25, with red hair and freckles. "It's not one of ours." Alex walked over quickly. "Show me." On the screen was a blinking dot that didn't match any known human ships or space junk. It was moving slowly, almost like it was drifting. "Is it an asteroid?" Alex asked. "No, sir. It's giving off heat and some kind of energy signal. It's definitely a ship, but not one of ours." The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew what this might mean. "How far?" Alex asked. "About 50,000 kilometers, sir." Alex took a deep breath. "Lisa, send the first contact message package. Danny, keep sensors focused on it. Sam, take us closer, but slowly. Everyone stay calm." Lisa Ward, the communications officer, nodded and sent the carefully prepared message that Earth had created years ago for this exact moment. It contained basic math, images of humans, and friendly greetings in all Earth languages. "Message sent, Captain," Lisa said. Her dark hands moved quickly over her console. "Now we wait." They didn't have to wait long. Just 3 minutes later, Lisa's console lit up. "Captain, they're responding." Her voice was excited but scared too. "Put it on screen," Alex ordered. The main screen flickered, and then they saw them, the first aliens humans had ever seen. They had blue-gray skin that looked almost like metal. Their heads were long with 4 eyes, 2 large ones in front, and 2 smaller ones on the sides. Instead of a nose, they had slits. Their mouths were small and didn't seem to move when they spoke. "Greetings, humans," the alien in the center said in perfect English. "We are the Navorians. We are surprised to find your kind this far out." Alex stepped forward. "I am Captain Alex Morgan of the Earth ship Horizon. We are honored to meet you." The aliens looked at each other. Alex thought they seemed worried. "Your species has achieved faster than light travel?" the Navorian asked. "No," Alex answered. "We use ion drives. We're still working on FTL technology." The aliens seemed to relax a little at this. "We see. And your colonies on Mars and Europa, these are your only settlements?" Alex wondered how they knew about the colonies. "Yes, those are our only off-Earth settlements." The Navorians spoke to each other in their own language for a moment. Their ship looked damaged, with parts of its hull dented and dark. "Do you need help with repairs?" Alex offered. "We have supplies and tools." The lead Navorian made a sound that might have been a laugh. "No, thank you. We can manage. We were just passing through your system." "Would you like to establish diplomatic relations?" Alex asked, following the first contact protocol. "We could arrange for more formal meetings." The Navorians looked at each other again. The lead alien's expression changed to something that looked like pity mixed with amusement. "Humans," the alien said slowly. "Well, good luck." "What do you mean?" Alex asked, confused. But the aliens were already moving. Lights on their ship began to glow brighter. Within minutes, their damaged sections started to repair themselves, metal flowing like water to seal breaks. "Wait, what did you mean by that?" Alex called out. The Navorian ship's engines powered up, glowing with a blue light that hurt the eyes. Then it shot away faster than anything Alex had ever seen, leaving the Horizon and its confused crew behind. Lisa looked at Alex. "Captain, what just happened?" Alex stared at the empty space where the alien ship had been. "I don't know, but I don't like it." "Sam, turn us around. We're heading home. Earth needs to know about this right away." As the Horizon changed course, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the Navorians' good luck wasn't a friendly goodbye. It had sounded more like the kind of good luck you wish someone who's about to face something terrible. The Horizon returned to Earth in record time. Captain Alex Morgan and his crew were rushed straight to UN Space Command headquarters in Geneva. They didn't even have time to see their families. Admiral Frank Miller was waiting for them. He was an older man with gray hair and a face that had seen too many hard days. He listened carefully as Alex told him about meeting the Navorians. "And they just said good luck and left?" the Admiral asked. "Yes, sir," Alex said. "They seemed almost sorry for us." The Admiral frowned. "I don't like it. It sounds like a warning." Lisa Ward, who sat next to Alex, nodded. "That's what we thought too, sir." Admiral Miller pressed a button on his desk. "Send in Carter." A minute later, a woman with short black hair walked in. She wore the blue uniform of intelligence. "This is Olivia Carter, our best analyst," the Admiral said. "Tell her everything you told me." Alex and Lisa went through the story again. Olivia listened and took notes. "There's something else you should know," Olivia said when they finished. "Our deep space probes have been going silent." "How many?" the Admiral asked. 27 in the past month, all in the outer solar system." The room grew quiet. 27 was not a small number. "Could it be the Navorians?" Alex asked. "I don't think so," Olivia said. "The probes stopped working before you met them. And from what you said, they seemed surprised to find us." Just then, a young officer burst into the room. His face was pale. "Sir, we're receiving a message. From space. It's not the Navorians. It's someone else." They rushed to the command center. On the main screen was an alien face, but not a Navorian. This alien had green skin and large yellow eyes. Its head was round with no hair. "People of Earth," the alien said. "I am Ambassador Zol of the Galactic Confederation, a union of 27 spacefaring species." The room was so quiet you could hear people breathing. "We are contacting you to inform you of a situation that affects your world," Zol continued. "Your solar system is now on the edge of what we call a frontier zone between two powerful forces, the Krell Empire and the Draconid Collective." Images appeared on the screen. The Krell looked like tall insects with 4 arms. The Draconids were reptile-like, with scales and sharp teeth. "These two forces have been fighting for control of this sector for centuries," Zol explained. "They have destroyed many worlds in their conflict." Admiral Miller stepped forward. "What does this mean for Earth?" "The Confederation has declared neutrality in this conflict," Zol said. "We advise Earth to do the same. However, we must inform you that your position is unfortunate." "Unfortunate how?" Olivia asked. "Both the Krell and the Draconids will see your system as valuable. They will try to take it. They will not care much about your survival." Alex thought about the Navorians' words. Now they made sense. "Will the Confederation help us?" Admiral Miller asked. Zol's face showed what might have been sadness. "We cannot. We have tried to stop them before. Many of our worlds were destroyed for it. We now maintain strict neutrality." "So you're just warning us and leaving us to die?" Lisa couldn't help saying. "We are giving you information," Zol said. "What you do with it is your choice. Your species' home system is unfortunately positioned. We wish you the best outcome possible." The message ended. The screen went black. Admiral Miller turned to Alex and the others. "Now we know what good luck meant." Olivia nodded. The Navorians knew what was coming. "What do we do now, sir?" Alex asked. Admiral Miller stood straight. "We fight. What else can we do? Earth is our home." "But how?" Lisa asked. "You saw those aliens. They're way ahead of us. The Admiral walked to the window and looked out at the blue sky. I don't know, but humans have always been good at finding ways to survive. We'll send our best people to meet with this confederation. Maybe we can learn more. Outside the window, people walked in the streets, not knowing that far above them, two mighty alien forces were moving closer, and Earth was right in their path. 1 week after the message from the Galactic Confederation, Earth prepared to send its first ambassadors to space. Greg Saunders was a diplomat who had worked on peace talks in many wars on Earth. Kate Boyd was a scientist who studied alien life. They were Earth's best hope. "Are you nervous?" Kate asked Greg as they waited to board their ship. Greg nodded. "Yes. I've talked to many difficult people, but never aliens who could destroy our whole planet." Their ship was called the Peacemaker *. It was the fastest ship humans had built, but it still took 3 days to reach the meeting point. The Confederation had set up a neutral space station at the edge of our solar system. When they arrived, the space station looked like nothing they had ever seen. It was shaped like a giant wheel with lights all around it. "It's beautiful," Kate said as they docked. They were met by aliens who looked like the ones from the message. Green skin, yellow eyes, round heads. These were members of the Lore species who helped run the Confederation. "Welcome," said one of them. "I am Teal, your guide. The Council is waiting." Teal led them through hallways that seemed to change shape as they walked. The walls glowed with soft light. They passed aliens of many kinds, some with tentacles, some with wings, some that floated instead of walking. The council room was large and round. Sitting in a circle were representatives from many Confederation species. In the center was Ambassador Zol, who had sent the message to Earth. "Humans," Zol said, "we welcome you to the Confederation outpost." Greg stepped forward. "Thank you for meeting with us. We come seeking help. Earth is in danger, and we want to understand what we're facing." Zol nodded. "We will show you." A 3D image appeared in the middle of the room. It showed 2 huge fleets of ships. One fleet had sharp, insect-like ships, the Krell. The other had smooth, curved ships that glowed red, the Draconids. "These forces are thousands of years ahead of your technology," Zol said. "The Krell control over 200 star systems. The Draconids control almost as many. And Earth is in the middle," Kate said. "Yes," Zol replied. "Your system has resources both sides want. And it has a good position for military purposes." "What can we do?" Greg asked. "We can't fight them. We can't match their technology." Zol looked sad. "You have 3 choices. You can surrender to one side. You can try to stay neutral. Or you can leave your planet." "Leave Earth?" Kate was shocked. "We can't evacuate billions of people. Where would we go?" "The Confederation could help settle a small number, perhaps a few million, on other worlds," Zol said. "But not billions. I am sorry." Teal touched a control, and new images appeared. They showed planets burning, worlds cracked in half, entire cities destroyed. "This is what happened to others who were caught between the Krell and Draconids," Teal said. Greg felt sick looking at the images. Why won't the Confederation stop them? "Together, you must be strong enough." "We tried," Zol said. 30 years ago, we sent our combined fleets against them. We lost half our ships. 12 member worlds were destroyed in revenge. We cannot risk more." After the meeting, Teal took Greg and Kate to rest in private rooms. Later, he came to Greg's room alone. "Human," Teal said quietly, "I should not say this, but I admire your people." "Why?" Greg asked. "I have studied your history. You fight even when there is no hope. You find ways to survive." "Will we survive this?" Greg asked. Teal looked away. "I do not think so. But if any species could find a way, it might be humans." The next day, Greg and Kate boarded their ship to return to Earth. They carried data disks full of information about the Krell and Draconids. "What will we tell them?" Kate asked as they left the station. "The truth," Greg said. that we're facing the biggest fight of our lives, but also that we need to find another way. We can't win by fighting directly. Is there another way? Kate asked. Greg looked out at the stars. I don't know, but we have to find one. The fate of Earth depends on it. When Greg and Kate returned to Earth, they found that things had changed. Countries that had fought for years were now working together. The Earth Defense Coalition had been formed. We don't have time for old fights, Admiral Miller told them at a meeting in the new coalition headquarters. The whole world knows what's coming. Next to the Admiral stood a woman with short gray hair and a strong face. She wore a military uniform with many medals. This is Commander Natalie Clark, the Admiral said. She's in charge of our defense plans. What defense can we have against ships that could crack our planet in half? Greg asked. Commander Clark smiled. That's where he comes in. She pointed to a thin man with glasses who was working on a computer. He had dark skin and tired eyes that showed he hadn't slept much lately. Dr. Eric Patel, Clark said. The smartest person on Earth. Eric looked up. Not the smartest, just the most desperate. He pressed a button, and a 3D image appeared over the table. It showed a strange engine. I've been studying the information you brought back, Eric said to Greg and Kate. The Confederation gave us more than just warnings. They gave us science. What have you found? Kate asked. A way to adapt their technology to work with ours, Eric said. We can't match them, but we can surprise them. Commander Clark nodded. We're building ships with Dr. Patel's new engines and weapons. They won't be as good as alien ships, but they'll be better than anything we've had before. How many ships can we build? Greg asked. 50 large ones, 200 smaller ones, Clark said. Every factory on Earth is working on this now. It won't be enough, Kate said. No, Clark agreed. That's why we're also building underground shelters, places where people can hide if the worst happens. Greg looked around the room. How long do we have? Admiral Miller's face was grim. Not long. Our deep space sensors have detected ships entering the outer solar system, both Krell and Draconid scout ships. As if on cue, a young officer ran into the room. Sir, we're receiving transmissions, 2 of them from different sources. On a large screen, 2 images appeared side by side. On the left was a Krell, tall, insect-like, with 4 arms and compound eyes. On the right was a Draconid, reptilian, with scales and sharp teeth. People of Earth, the Krell said, your system now falls under the protection of the Krell Empire. Pledge loyalty to us, and you will be spared. Humans, the Draconid said at the same time. The Draconid Collective offers you safety. Join us, and we will defend you against the Krell threat. Both messages end with threats, the officer said. They say if we join the other side, they'll destroy Earth. The room was quiet for a moment. Well, Commander Clark said, now we know how much time we have. They're both here. The real fleets will follow soon. We need to stall them, Admiral Miller said. Buy time to finish our preparations. How? Greg asked. We'll talk to both sides, Miller said. Pretend we're considering their offers. Send diplomatic teams. Kate looked worried. What if they realize what we're doing? They probably will, Miller admitted. But every day we gain is a day Dr. Patel has to work on our defenses. Eric looked up from his computer. I have another idea. Something they won't expect. What's that? Clark asked. We're weak compared to them, Eric said. But what if we use that weakness as a strength? What if we make them think we're even weaker than we are? Greg caught on quickly. Make them underestimate us. Eric nodded. Exactly. And while they're busy fighting each other, we prepare a surprise. Commander Clark smiled. I like it, but we'll need someone to lead this mission. Someone who's already met aliens. All eyes turned to Captain Alex Morgan, who had been listening quietly. I'll do it, Alex said. Just tell me the plan. Can you do it? Clark asked. Maybe, Zoe said. Their systems are different, but code is code. If I can get access, I can cause trouble. The next day, Alex led his first team to meet the Krell. Their ship was small and simple, making the Krell ship look even bigger and more frightening when they docked with it. The Krell leader was named High Commander Vex. He towered over the humans, his 4 arms moving constantly. Why should the Krell Empire allow humans to live? Vex asked with a voice that sounded like grinding metal. Alex bowed his head, pretending to be scared. Great High Commander, Earth has resources that might be valuable to you. We have rare elements like gold and platinum. We can mine them for you. Vex's compound eyes gleamed. The Draconids will offer the same. But we are adaptable, Alex said. Humans can live and work in places that might be difficult for your people. We could help establish Krell bases on harsh planets. This seemed to interest Vex. He asked many questions about human abilities, which Alex answered carefully, always making humans sound useful but not threatening. 2 days later, Alex took his second team to meet the Draconids. Their leader was War Chief Scar, a large reptile with red scales and yellow eyes. Humans are weak, Scar said. Why should we not just take your planet? Alex showed fear, but also pride. Earth sits at a strategic location. With human help, you could establish a strong position against the Krell. Scar leaned closer. What can humans offer that we cannot take? Knowledge of our system, Alex said. There are hidden places, asteroid fields where ships can hide. Places only we know about. While these meetings happened, Zoe was hard at work. Using data from Dr. Patel's recording device, she found ways into both alien communication systems. I'm in, she told Commander Clark after a week of work. I can't control their ships, but I can change small things in their messages to each other. Perfect, Clark said. Make each side think the other is planning something big. Make them suspicious of each other. Meanwhile, Eric had another team working day and night. They built small robot probes that could move through space without being noticed. What do they do? Admiral Miller asked. They don't attack, Eric explained. They just sit quietly until activated. Then they create confusion in targeting systems, make it hard for ships to know what they're shooting at. Alex returned from his missions with good news. Both sides are interested in us, but suspicious. They're watching each other closely. Good, Commander Clark said. Now for the next part of the plan. We need to look divided and confused. That won't be hard, Greg said. Half our people are terrified. Yes, Clark agreed. But we need to look like we're arguing about which side to join. Like some humans want the Krell, some want the Draconids. A trick, Kate asked. Exactly, Clark said. While they watch us fight among ourselves, they'll grow more worried about each other. And they won't notice what we're really doing. Which is? Lisa asked. Commander Clark smiled, getting ready to surprise them both. The main fleets of both the Krell and the Draconids arrived in the solar system within days of each other. Hundreds of huge ships took positions around the edges of the system. Earth looked small and helpless between these giant forces. They're here, Admiral Miller said, looking at the screen showing all the alien ships. Now we see if our plan works. For 2 weeks, Earth had been sending out confusing messages. Some said humans wanted to join the Krell. Others said the Draconids were better allies. News channels showed fake arguments between world leaders. The Krell ambassador wants to speak again, Lisa told Captain Alex. The insect-like face of High Commander Vex appeared on screen. Human, we have received reports that your leaders are meeting secretly with the Draconids. Alex looked surprised and worried. I don't know anything about that, High Commander. Some countries prefer the Draconids, but most of us want Krell protection. This was a lie, but one that Zoe had prepared by sending fake messages that the Krell would find. An hour later, the Draconid war chief called. Humans, you told us you would not speak to the Krell again. Alex pretended to be nervous. Some conversations might have happened, War Chief, but they mean nothing. Earth values the Draconid offer more. On Earth, Eric and Zoe watched both conversations. They're getting suspicious, Zoe said. Both sides think we're playing them against each other. Good, Eric said. Now for the next step. He pressed a button, and all around the solar system, his small robot probes turned on. They didn't do anything yet, just waited. The next day, a small Krell scout ship moved close to a Draconid patrol. Nobody knew who fired first, but suddenly there was a fight. 3 ships were damaged. We did not attack first. The Draconid war chief told Earth. The Krell are trying to start a war. The Draconids fired on our peaceful scout. High Commander Vex insisted to Admiral Miller. They want conflict. Each side blamed humans for giving bad information. When Earth officials acted confused and apologized, it made both alien forces more angry. They think we're stupid, Commander Clark said. Good. Keep it that way. Meanwhile, deep space sensors detected more ships entering the system. The main battle fleets were arriving. It's time for the next part, Clark said. Alex, you'll lead our small fleet to protect Earth. Make it look like we're trying our best, but don't actually attack either side. Alex nodded. We'll look brave but helpless. What about the people on Earth? Kate asked. The aliens could attack our cities. The shelters are ready, Greg said. We can move half the population underground if we need to. The Krell ships moved closer to Earth. The Draconids responded by sending their own ships forward. They were all watching each other, weapons ready. Tensions are high, Zoe reported. Their messages are getting angry. Eric looked at his screen. The probes are in position. When the fighting starts, they'll activate. When? Admiral Miller asked. Not if. No, sir, Eric said sadly. These aliens have hated each other for centuries. They will fight. We just have to make sure they fight each other, not us. That night, alarms went off in the Coalition headquarters. A young officer ran into the command room. Sir, the Krell have moved a large battle group toward Mars. The Draconids are responding. On the big screen, they could see the alien ships moving into battle formations. This is it, Commander Clark said. Everyone to your stations. Alex, get your fleet in defensive positions around Earth, but stay out of the main fight. What about the plan? Kate asked nervously. Admiral Miller's face was firm. The plan continues. Make them focus on each other. When they're busy fighting, that's when we'll make our move. As the first shots were fired between alien ships near Mars, Earth held its breath. The battle they had been preparing for was finally beginning. The battle between the Krell and Draconids grew larger by the hour. What started near Mars quickly spread throughout the solar system. Bright flashes lit up space as ships fired at each other. Some ships exploded in balls of fire that quickly died in the emptiness of space. On Earth, Admiral Miller watched from the command center. How many ships are fighting now? Over 200 on each side, Lisa reported. And more arriving. Captain Alex Morgan commanded Earth's small fleet of 50 large ships and 200 smaller ones. They formed a protective ring around Earth, looking brave but scared. Remember, Alex told his captains, we're not here to win. We're here to survive and protect Earth until the real plan works. Sometimes a Krell or Draconid ship would fire at a human ship. The humans would return fire, but mostly they tried to stay out of the way of the bigger battle. They're barely noticing us, Alex told Commander Clark. They're too busy fighting each other. Perfect, Clark said. Dr. Patel, is it time? Eric nodded. Yes, the battle has reached the right point. Both sides are fully engaged. He pressed a button, and all around the solar system, the small robot probes he had planted came to life. They began sending out invisible signals that confused the alien ship's targeting systems. What's happening? A Krell captain asked as his weapons missed their target. Why can't we hit them? A Draconid commander demanded when his shots went wild. The alien ships began firing more, trying to overcome the problem. But this just made things worse. Some began hitting their own ships by mistake. "It's working," Zoe shouted, watching from her screens. "They're getting confused." While the aliens were distracted by the growing chaos in space, Admiral Miller put the next part of the plan into action. "Start the evacuation," he ordered. "Get as many people to the shelters as possible." All across Earth, people moved to underground shelters that had been built over the last months. These deep bunkers could protect millions of people if the worst happened. "How long will this confusion last?" Admiral Miller asked Eric. "Not long enough," Eric admitted. "A few hours, maybe. They'll figure it out eventually." Up in space, the battle was getting more chaotic. The Krell launched a massive attack on the main Draconid fleet, thinking the Draconids were responsible for their targeting problems. The Draconids responded with an even bigger attack. Ships on both sides were being destroyed. The space around Mars was filled with floating pieces of broken ships. "The Confederation was right," Greg said, watching from Earth. "These aliens are destroying each other." Captain Alex's ship shook as a stray shot from a Krell cruiser hit them. "Damage report," Alex called. "Shields at 60%, his officer replied. "We can still fly." Alex looked out at the battle. Most of the human fleet was still intact, but they were taking hits. Earth's defenses wouldn't last much longer against these powerful aliens. "How many people are in shelters now?" Commander Clark asked. "Almost 40% of the population," Greg reported. "We need more time." Just then, all screens in the command center lit up with incoming messages. Both the Krell High Commander and the Draconid War Chief were calling at the same time. "Put them both on screen," Admiral Miller ordered. The angry faces of both alien leaders appeared. "Humans," the Krell leader shouted, "you have interfered in our battle. This confusion is your doing," the Draconid leader hissed. "You will pay for this trick." Admiral Miller stood tall. "We are just defending our home. We don't know what's causing your problems." "Lies," both alien leaders said at almost the same time. They looked at each other in surprise, then anger. "You planned this together," the Krell leader accused the Draconid. "No, you are working with the humans," the Draconid shot back. Their argument grew until both cut off communication, not with Earth, but with each other. "They're focusing all their attention on each other now," Lisa said. Admiral Miller nodded. "Good. That gives us the opening we need." "For what?" Kate asked. "For our last, best hope," Miller replied. "Captain Morgan, prepare for the final phase." The battle had been raging for 3 days. Many Krell and Draconid ships were destroyed. The survivors were damaged, but still fighting. They no longer cared about Earth. They only wanted to destroy each other. "Now is the time," Admiral Miller told Captain Alex. "Gather your team." Alex, Greg, Lisa, and Kate boarded a small ship. It didn't look like a warship. It had no weapons showing. It looked like a simple messenger ship. "Do you think this will work?" Kate asked as they left Earth. "It has to," Greg said. "We have no other choice." Their ship moved carefully through the battle. Once, a Draconid cruiser fired at them, but they were small and fast, and got away. They reached a point between the main Krell and Draconid fleets. Alex sent out a message to both fleet commanders. "This is Captain Alex Morgan of Earth. We request an immediate ceasefire and meeting. We have important information for both sides." At first, there was no answer. The fighting continued. Then, slowly, the firing started to stop. The alien ships were tired. They had been fighting for days. Maybe they were ready to listen. "The Krell will hear you," came the answer from one side. "The Draconids will allow this meeting," came from the other. 2 damaged ships, 1 Krell and 1 Draconid, moved toward the human vessel. Alex guided his ship to a spot between them. Using special docking tubes, they connected all 3 ships so the leaders could meet in the middle. The Krell commander was not High Commander Vex. He had been killed in the battle. This was a lower commander named Zith. The Draconid was not War Chief Scar, but one of his captains named Krelv. Both aliens looked tired and angry. "Speak quickly, human," Zith said. "Why have you called this meeting?" Alex stood straight and looked both aliens in the eyes. He was not pretending to be scared anymore. "First, let me show you something." He pressed a button, and a screen showed the solar system. Hundreds of small dots appear all around the alien fleets. "These are automated defense platforms," Alex explained. "We placed them while you were busy fighting. They can target and destroy your remaining ships." The aliens looked at the screen in shock. "You lie," Krelv said. "Humans don't have such technology." "We didn't," Greg said, "until we studied your ships. You gave us all the examples we needed." "Even if this is true," Zith said, "why call us here? Why not just destroy us?" "Because we don't want more death," Lisa said. "We want peace." Kate stepped forward with a document. "This is a treaty. It declares the entire solar system neutral territory. Neither Krell nor Draconids may enter it without permission. In return, we won't expand beyond our system for 50 years. The alien commanders looked at each other. "And if we refuse?" Krell asked. Alex's face was serious. "Then none of your ships leave this system. Your empires will wonder what happened to their mighty fleets." There was a long silence. The aliens